Hi everyone, this is Siarri, and today I want to talk about something that's maybe a little bit more granular than my usual subjects. But basically, stock ownership tracking and the potential use of blockchain for that purpose. So determining who owns what when it comes to stocks, it's not always a straightforward process. And the organization that's been in charge of that in the United States since the 1970s is the DTC, which stands for the Depository Trade Trust Company. Um, so I'm going to quote an article that was published recently in the Cointelegraph. Um, so um, uh, According to Investopedia, the DTC was created because the New York Stock Exchange couldn't keep track of who owned what anymore. The trading volume was simply too high. Indeed, in 2012, the DTC settled 299 million shares with a value of $110 trillion. When you buy a share of stock from your broker informs the DTC that it represents somebody who owns a share of that stock. When a company wants to find out who owns their stock, they have to ask the DTC to consult its list of brokers, and then the brokers have to be asked who the actual owner is of the shares in the broker's accounts. And then they cite Bloomberg. So if you own a stock, what you really have is an entry in the broker's database. And your broker, in turn, has an entry in DTC's database, and DTC has an entry in the company's database of shareholders of record. So, uh, again, not super straightforward. Um, there's been some incidents of, well, I guess mixed mix-ups for the lack of a better term. Um, there was class action um, um, lawsuit with the Dole Food Company. Uh, so I'm going to quote this. So back in 2015. So I'm going to quote this article from Forbes. The recent Dole Food Company Inc. Dole class action demonstrated, however, accurate stock ownership records cannot be assumed. The 2015 Dole settlement specified that monetary awards be distributed to Dole common stockholders. The problem, they were, so I'm not gonna state the whole number, but about 36 million, and then some shares in the class. The claimants submitted facially valid claims for about 49 million shares, 33% more Dole common stock than actually existed. A simplified explanation for this mix-up: in Dole, no single ledger kept track in real time of precise stock ownership. And then they kind of reiterate, what I explained, earlier. When you buy a share of common stock in a publicly traded corporation, you typically do not hold that share directly. Generally, from the corporation's perspective, a company called Seed & Co. nominee of the DTC is the record owner of all the stock all the time. Your broker keeps an entry in its database showing you as the stock's beneficial owner, and DTC keeps an entry in its database of your broker's ownership. And as another incident, the infamous 1.5 billion error um, that involved automaker GM, General Motors. Um, so that's obviously a big mistake. So what's happening in Delaware? So, as you guys might know, Delaware is a you know business-friendly, tax-friendly jurisdiction, and I believe 60% of publicly traded companies in the United States are incorporated in Delaware. So I'm going to quote again the Cointelegraph. Delaware took note of this problem. In early August, the state made it legal for corporations to maintain shareholder lists using blockchain technology rather than the old centralized and inefficient system. Using a blockchain to record stock ownership would allow the corporation to quickly and easily figure out all its current shareholders, as well as who owns shares at any point in the company's history. This can be quite useful when it comes to determining who is owed dividend payments, for instance. This is particularly noteworthy because, as I mentioned previously, although Delaware is a small state, majority of all corporations in the U.S. are based in Delaware. Let me see. They have favorable tax laws, easy and quick incorporation paperwork, and other advantages. Because of this, when Delaware legalized use of the blockchain to record stock ownership, over 1 million businesses, including 50% of all publicly traded companies, were immediately allowed to begin tracking stock ownership through a blockchain. So, in my humble opinion, it's a good use case of blockchain application in something that's quite useful, something that has purpose. Um, a friend of mine told me, "I love this. Um, this is very different from the new bubble coin or something of that nature." So I found that quite funny. But yeah, this has real purpose, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about this development. Thank you for listening as always.